Now, Yudit, you brought some stuff to share with us. Do you want to share your screen?
I did. Sure. So you have there my title, Briefboards, which is the name of a company, a startup that I have at the moment, or actually it's a project in the making. My consulting business, by the way, Rick, is called Random Thoughts. Just thought I'd mention that. And comes back to a little bit what Lesley said. It's called Random Thoughts because, you know, one of the things that I do, or I feel I do as a consultant, is take all these ideas and take all these, you know, can we do this? What about this? All these random thoughts, and I turn them into a learning solution. We build something that can be, you know, implementable and bring to life those ideas. So Briefboard came out of the process of creating e-learning in my consulting job. So when I stepped out of that corporate role and I started you know, my journey into being a freelance consultant, one of my first projects was helping my previous company. They actually hired me back to help them project manage and deliver a very large digital transformation project. So I found myself looking at strategy, helping them implement a platform, but as part of this also creating a very large library of e-learning content. Now, this had been my first experience as an e-learning developer and designer. I had never done it before. So, but I thought, okay, how hard can it be? I'm going to give it a go. And so I partnered with a colleague and a friend for many years who's a Storyline developer. At that time, he was using Storyline. And we started building this library of content. And it was about a 1.5-year project, and by the end of that year, I had come to a point where I thought whether I could do this or not anymore. I found the design part very engaging, very motivating, but when it came to review cycles and when it came to getting feedback from my SMEs on every one of these projects, it was extremely frustrating because there was nothing. Everything was done in a manual way. So I found myself with approximately 20 e-learning modules, online assessments, pieces of content. Each one had a number of, you know, SMEs collaborating on it. And I don't know if I should be saying this on camera, but literally almost in tears at the end, thinking, oh my God, I'm getting all these emails, I'm getting all this feedback in you know, through one email attachments. Then you have to consolidate all that information. You have to, it was just crazy. So after several months of work, I went back home to Argentina, and I was a little bit getting it out of my system and talking to my brother. And I'm just very lucky that he is a software developer. So my brother says to me, well, what if I build you something that can help you with your review cycles and can help you work with your clients and collaborate? And that is when Briefboards was basically born as an idea. So Briefboards is a messaging and a revision application that helps e-learning consultants and helps their clients review e-learning content together, and it helps the process of creating e-learning content. So that's how it started. So I've been working on this application for the last 2 years. We have brought it to market very recently. We started in June, a bit more an aggressive marketing around it and sharing it. The States, for example, is a big market for me. So we've put a lot of efforts at the moment on online marketing and social media with the States. And yes, it's a small application at the moment. It's growing every day. But you know, my goal with it is really to help our e-learning community, and the same way it has helped me. I use it all the time with my clients, and it has really changed our lives.
That's great. Were you going to show some of that, or?
Yes. Can I, if I can?
Sure.
Is that okay?
Sure, that'd be great.
Okay. So how do I do this? let
So
me
just
share my
share your
screen there.
yeah, share your screen, and that should get you up and running. Let's see.
Okay,
There you go.
tell me if you can see it.
There you are. Now we see it.
You see it? Okay.
Yes.
So let me just show you this. This is just the overall concept, so you get an idea of what the application does. So it's very easy to use, and I just want to say that we built something because 4 years ago, when I started, as I said, I started using Storyline. At that time, Storyline 3 hadn't come out. It was Storyline 2. It had no revision functionality, and we looked for months at what could we use to help us review online content and communicate through the review cycles. There are many applications in other areas, for example, in marketing and IT that are available, but none of them actually worked with e-learning content. So I went and I was talking to my client and to my SMEs, and I said, well, what would you need? What would you like? And the response basically was, I'd love to just launch a course, send me a link. I want to launch the course, and I want to be able to go through it. And when I see something I want, as a change, or I see something that there's a mistake, I want to be able to just click on it, leave you some feedback, maybe add an attachment, and that's it. It's very simple, fast, because we don't have a lot of time. Oh, and the second thing they wanted to do is be able to see what the other people in the team were actually reviewing and saying. So this is the essence of how Briefboards works. So an e-learning designer, you create your content on your preferred authoring tool. At the moment, Briefboard connects with 4 of the major tools on the market. It connects with Storyline, with Lectora, with Captivate, and with iSpring. So the e-learning developer creates the content. When they're ready to have that first review cycle, they connect our board to it, and then they simply publish the course. They put it on their LMS, or they put it on their server, and they share with the team. The team can come in and then can use our board to review. And I'll show you in a minute how that looks like. But very simple. You don't have to upload your content to any third-party provider. You work as you normally do, with the only exception that before publishing your course, you simply connect the board. So extremely easy. Works within the workflow of what you normally do. Nothing new to learn. Very simple application. Now, in terms of how it works, I'm just going to go now here and just open a demo project. This is the back end, but let me just open this demo. So after you connect our board and you send a link to your clients, what basically happens is that your clients see on one side their course, and on the other side our board here. This has I just have some demo comments on there. You can open and you can close the board. Rick, can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So Yep. So there are 3 buttons here. The bottom one shows you who's on your review team, and the top one is a marker tool. So all you basically do is you click on it. You click wherever it is. Let's say you want to replace this image. Click on there, and you can say replace this image, and you send it. When you send it, your comment goes on the board up here. See, number 17. Everybody who's a part of this board can see that. They can go in, and then this functions as a chat. Assume there's another person here. They can say, okay, send another image. So you can basically have a live conversation with your team while you're reviewing this course. So that's one thing. So it allows you for on-screen markup. You can also add attachments. Let's say go in here, see image attached, and when you go in here, it opens another program that allows you to select your files and add your attachment. Your attachment will appear down here next to the clip, the little clip. And again, it's on the board. Now, I don't know how other people do it, but when I'm reviewing with my clients, I tend to get quite a lot of comments, especially in the earlier review cycle. So if you have 3 or 4 reviewers, you know, sometimes you might get 30, 40, 50, 60 comments. So finding all of those comments in you know, and where they are on every slide can get very tricky. So what we've implemented is a double navigation tip that allows you to find the information. So basically, when you are in the board, if you click on a comment, well, let me go somewhere where it takes you straight into that slide in the course where that comment is located. So I can immediately see my comment is here. So if I find one that isn't, takes me. And when I'm on the course, if I click on it, it takes me to the comment on the board. So you can immediately, you can navigate through the course or you can navigate through the board. See?
I like that. That's very straightforward. I like that.
Yes, absolutely. And then we've added the extra functionality of this. See this little green line here next to comment 14 here on the top? Mm-hmm. So that basically tells me that a comment has been left inside a layer. So you can leave comments on layers, interactive elements, on your menu, and your player, your buttons. And if I click on it, it not only takes me to the slide, but it opens the layer where that comment is located. So if I close this, my comment is hidden behind this, you know, this slide here. Mm-hmm. So if I click on it, I can see my 2 comments here. And then they're highlighted on the board. So no, you know, nothing gets lost. All information gets consolidated in one place, and all your attachments are in one place. And basically all your clients need is a link to this, to the course, and they can go through it and review. So the initial prototype had basically what I just showed you, and then what we've added later on based on clients' requests is a little bit of a to-do list. So we have on the top here an inbox, a working list, and a done list. So this gives the team a bit of visibility in terms of how the requests for changes have been progressing. So for example, the way I work with my clients is I send them a list, the link to the course with an empty board. All my SMEs go in there, they leave all the comments, then I review them. The comments that I have understood, if somebody, and I have all the information I need to action, I open it up, and I can go down here on the bottom right and click on this button, and it moves that comment to the working folder. So my clients can start understanding and seeing, having visibility on what things are being actioned at the moment. When I'm done with it, go back and I move it to the done. It's on the done list. Anything that's still in the inbox means that needs further clarification, or I'm waiting on information, and we can use it to discuss back and forth. By the time I get to the done list and everything's on the done list, then I'm ready to republish the course and send them a new link. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, it looks very sensible.
Yes.
Really
and
easy,
again,
really easy to use as well.
Absolutely. And for the reviewers, in my case, most of the times people who participate as reviewers on my projects are quite senior people. They have, they've been around and they're very busy. So the last thing for me is to say, okay, go and take screenshots of your course, put them on a Word document, cut and paste this. They don't have time. We've done a lot of testing on how much time you can save with this, and a 30-minute course that could take you half a day sometimes to review it in the very early cycles. We've brought this down to an hour and a half maximum, even less. So it's really, really fast.
Well, I also see this as a pretty good tool for even the development team to work together on developing something.
Yes, absolutely. So this is how we do. So the initial review cycles, if I go to the back end, let me show you, I can show you just a client I have at the moment. So this is an interviewing skills course that we're working on at the moment. And version 1 and 2 is just with my internal development team. So if I click on it and I look, I can see. So Ezequiel is the person I work with. He's my developer. So you can see that for this first review cycle, it's only us. Number 2, it's only us. And then when we're ready for the first client review, we've added some other people on here. So that is from the client side. We've added CS collaborators, you can see in the roles. So each one, this allows me to see, for example, at the moment, we've gone through 2 internal rounds plus 1 client review. We will soon set up the second client review, so you can keep track of how many rounds of revisions you've done, who's looking, who's been part of that team. It tells you a lot of details, where that content sits. And this is really important, and I'll tell you in a minute how to connect our boards, but our board connects in a way that if you move your content to another server or another place, you've loaded it somewhere else, the content moves with you. So you never lose feedback. You never lose information. So it becomes really, really handy. And how do you actually connect our board? That's also the beauty of this system. Once you've created your cycle, every cycle has a unique code. I click down here. It gives me, it's just a JavaScript code here. And all you have to do is you click this button that says copy to clipboard, and then you go to your authoring tool and you embed it on your first slide in your course. That's all you do. The moment you publish your course and you load it and you open it, that code turns into the board. So literally, if you can copy and paste, you can use this tool as a developer. That's all you need to do. And with JavaScript, well, it depends a little bit on the authoring tool that you use. But for example, in Storyline, you just add it as a trigger. And I think in Captivate, it's called an action. So you add it as a trigger, you paste our code. And then when you're done with all your reviews, all you have to do is open the course, go to your first slide and delete the trigger, and you're done. That board disappears. Now it disappears from that link, but it doesn't disappear from the system. So if by any chance you need to recover that board and go back and find it, you will have it. It never disappears from here, what I'm showing you now.
Now, are the boards cloud-based?
Everything is cloud-based.
Okay.
Everything is cloud-based. You go up here in the People tab, and this from here you invite you invite people to your workspace. Literally, one button. You enter their email address, and you decide which role, if you want them to be just a collaborator or an author. So the back end of what they see is a little bit different based on your role, and that's it. And you invite them to your workspace, and then you can connect them to your project. People only see what they have been associated to. That helps a lot with the security around the projects. And so you can have as many people on your workspace, but they will only see the project you've linked them to. And there we go.
That's great.
So we have a lot of features that we'd like to add to this. Every time over the last year, I've talked to many clients, and I'm keeping a wish list of features. So slowly we're continuing to implement. But already as a basic tool, it's really helped me tremendously, and it's helping a lot of my clients, and to collaborate, to discuss, to share content, and most importantly, the markup features. You can go into every single detail and leave feedback.